Hey everyone, it's Vicky from Valkyrie Tarot and BRS Holistic Health. I'm coming back at you with the stages of twin flame journey. Yes, there are stages, because why would anything be easy when you meet yourself in another body? All right, so we're gonna start with the first phase. Okay, there's arguably 7, but I kind of put the first 2 together just to be me. Even though I like the number 7, it's my lucky number. So the first stage is recognition. Arguably the stage before this is everything leading up to that. So you'll probably have dreams about meeting your twin flame. You may see them in dreams. You may see them on the sidewalk. You may see them in a place where you've never even thought. And you probably saw them and something triggered you to pay attention to them, but you kept walking. And then you probably run into them again. And something triggers you being like, why is that person familiar to me? Time goes on. You're revving yourself up. You're toast to the gods up there, right? Sorry, it's my roommates upstairs. So you're revving yourself up, you're getting yourself ready, you're having these dreams, you're emotionally up-leveling, you've gone through your work, you maybe went through a really bad relationship and you grew from that relationship, or you went through a really bad life experience, like maybe you had a really bad upbringing, maybe you had an abusive relationship, maybe you had a really bad injury or something, you lost someone that you loved. Big tower moments are building you up, making you stronger, making all of the energy get higher and higher and higher so that you're ready when you meet them. The recognition phase is when you finally meet them. And let me tell you, it is euphoric. You could meet them on a dating website like I did. You can meet them at a coffee shop. You can meet them in an elevator. But when you meet them and your eyes meet, it's like gravity exists for the first time. It's like an emotion that you have never felt before in your entire life suddenly overtakes you. And it is volcanic inside of you. It is pure bliss in love in universal light, like a Care Bear stare right out of your chest. And it'll knock you on your ass. Pardon my language. But it's amazing. And terrifying at the same time. Because you catch eyes with this person and you can't look away. You pay attention to the little green flecks in their eyes when the light hits them just right. And you smile. And you smile like an idiot because you recognize them. And they do the same thing with you with the gold flecks in your eyes. And you love the little things about them that are similar to you. And you just want to open up so fast to them. You want to just hold them because you feel home for the first time in your life. You feel what home feels like. And it's in their arms and it's in their energy. And if you're lucky enough to have a romantic relationship with your twin flame, because not all of them are, to be honest, and you kiss them, your whole body sets on fire. You touch them and energy ripples through your skin. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Reiki master and I have sensitive touch. I'm saying that because I felt it. And people I have talked to in these communities of twin flames feel it and they know what I'm talking about. And if you are lucky enough to be intimate and sexual with your twin flame, good luck if you guys don't wind up working out together, because I don't know how I am ever gonna feel that with somebody else. Because I have never felt that type of connection, that type of kundalini linkage, every level of my chakras lined up. It's amazing. This brings you to the next phase, the love bubble. That's what I like to call it. Where everything is beautiful, everything is great. You're talking about being together. You just want to spend all your time with this person. A lot of people call this the honeymoon phase. Everything is just, you keep learning more and more about this person. They keep opening up, you keep opening up, and you just love and love and love because you're falling in line with so many things. And yeah, there's little things that would normally be like a red flag in another relationship, but you're like, I don't care, I love you. And you just keep going and you spend all this time together. And all of a sudden, all of this emotion just builds up inside of you, and the panic hits. Because you realize you don't know how to contain this emotion. It's just too much. You suddenly are afraid to lose them, but you're afraid to be dependent on them at the same time. And you want to spend the rest of your life with them. And you realize in aisle 6 of the supermarket when they're reaching for a bag of fucking Tostitos that you want to marry them on the 3rd date. And your brain goes into overdrive. Because, oh my God, what's wrong with me? I'm going crazy. Because the 3D you doesn't know how to contain the 5D universe and the energy that is vibrating between you in lifeline and lifeline and lifeline of energy building up into this moment. Because maybe you weren't together in the last life. Maybe you weren't together in the last 15 lives. Everything is culminating and you're feeling it. And it's fucking terrifying. So this brings us to the next stage, the 3rd stage, turmoil. I'm going to talk in another video more about the divine masculine and divine feminine because they deal with this turmoil stage very differently, okay? I'm going to speak from the feminine side because that is what I was in my relationship, am in my relationship. I am a Scorpio. I have very deep emotions. I can feel a lot. I can deal with grief. I can deal with the heaviest of emotions. I am very comforting to other people. I'm very comforting to myself. I have always been a very emotional and sensitive person, but very stable on the surface. But when I met my twin flame, all rules went out the window. Suddenly I felt these emotions that were inside of me that I didn't know. I didn't know how to recognize them. I didn't know what they were. And because I didn't know what they were, I couldn't control them. And because I couldn't control them, my anxiety took over in my brain because the logic was trying to control the emotional side. And the yin and the yang inside of myself was fighting. I had this tidal wave of emotion sitting just under the surface, and I couldn't breathe. And I panicked. And me being me and the divine feminine, I tried to talk through it. I tried to talk to my twin flame about it. But my twin being the divine masculine and having the background that the divine masculine usually has in every lifeline doesn't talk about emotions. They are logical. My twin was feeling the same things, I have no doubt, even though it was never discussed. But it was handled so differently. And suddenly this intensity that was between us that drew us together, that was so passionate that it just made your mouth water and you just couldn't control yourself around each other, went bad. And I'm not talking abusive bad. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking physical abuse. I'm not talking emotional abuse. I'm talking not able to control it. And you start panicking. And the divine feminine, the anxiety just overflows and they grip for anything solid and anything comfortable, and they want home, that safety that you felt in the divine masculine's arms, the only thing that's going to stop you from overflowing. And the divine masculine looks at what's going on with the divine feminine and goes, oh, that's messy. I can't do it because I'm anxious too, but I can't deal with that because if that's way too much and it's going to flip me out. So the divine masculine pulls away. And this magnet, this once was bonding these two souls and these two bodies so strongly together that it was creating so much force, all of a sudden recoils. And there's a release of energy. And the divine masculine distances. And the divine feminine doesn't know what's going on, so she tries to reach in a way. reach in a way, like two magnets that have been polarized the opposite way. Suddenly, they can't align. The energy, the frequencies are off, and they can't figure it out, and they don't know why. They don't know what's going on. The runner-chaser dynamic begins. That stage begins. Level 4 of the game of the twin flame dynamic, the journey. And then it's one point or another, the chaser, the divine feminine, decides this isn't working. I realize what I'm doing. I'm just pushing them farther away. I need to stop. Or they get frustrated and they just go, you know what? Never mind. I'm done chasing you. Fine. You want to go? Go. They get angry and they show a part of themselves that the divine masculine doesn't see. They're showing their strength. The divine feminine suddenly is coming into their own power, and the divine masculine inside of the divine feminine is leveling out. And the divine masculine on this side is suddenly, the divine feminine reaches up inside them and goes, ooh, wait, why did you stop chasing me? Does that mean you don't love me anymore? And the anxiety here goes, oh, no, don't leave me. Reaches out for the chaser. And most of the time, the divine feminine goes, okay, we'll try again. We'll try. Let's try this again. And the divine feminine, in her wonderful glory, will reach in with her nurturing attitude and her belief that it's all going to get better. And that the divine masculine is really ready this time. And they've worked through everything that they need to work through. And they're not going to run away again. And the divine feminine comes in all confident, like, going to do this right. They're here. They're going to do it right too. This is it. We're reunion. And then the same shit happens again. The divine feminine becomes a little too anxious. The divine masculine recoils and leaves again. The divine feminine chases again. Leaves, chase. And this thing just keeps going back and forth. It's a roller coaster. If you've been in one of these relationships, you know what I'm talking about, the highs and the lows. And it's crazy because you're sitting here on your side of whatever side of the equation you're on, and you're like, God, I can't stand this roller coaster of emotions that this person's putting me through. Then the other person's on this side being like, God, I can't stand these fucking roller coaster of emotions that this person's putting me through. And no one can realize that they are putting themselves through them themselves. Until it's too late. Which is where this video is coming from. The divine masculine and the divine feminine, and I will break into this in a different video, are mirrors of each other. So when one is feeling an emotion, the other is feeling it too. They just express it differently. And when one person is feeling these emotions up here, the other person's feeling these emotions up here, but they don't deal with them the same way. And it frustrates the other one because they literally are speaking two different languages. It's like the love languages. If you've ever seen or taken that test, it's like, it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating because you can't communicate what you need. Even if you have the words available, they fail you because the other person can't see from your perspective. They just can't do it. They can't do it. They're not ready to do it. They haven't worked through their shit. They haven't done it. So you run and you chase and you run and you chase. And then you take your separation. Stage 5. Finally, you stop the running and you stop the chasing and you're in this separation. And it is awful. Because you literally feel like you're torn in half now. You thought you were whole before you met this person. You thought you were good. You worked through all your bad shit in other lives and other relationships, and you were good and you're solid and you're successful. But now you have this soul wound that you've never felt before. And it's like you're half of you. Because you know what it's like to be whole with another person all of a sudden. And God, you're not here. And you go through these roller coasters of emotions yourself now. And you realize you can't blame the other person anymore. You have to learn how to take responsibility for your own emotions and your own actions and your own shortcomings and everything that you know you did wrong in your past relationship and this runner-chaser dynamic shit. You know your anxiety pushed them away. You know your distance made them anxious. You know your inability to express what you needed to say left them questioning it. And you know, because you never said that you loved them, it made them feel like you didn't love them. And you have to face yourself every day in the mirror. And you have to tell yourself, you'll make it through. That this is a learning experience. That everyone goes through this in this journey. And after time goes by, the yearning for them gets a little less. The ache for them dulls. You stop reaching out for them in your bed. You stop thinking you're going to see them drive around the corner. You stop picturing their ghost in front of you and picturing how a conversation's going to go in the future or tomorrow. You stop checking your phone to see if maybe they'll just text you or call you, check in on you on social media. Because as much as you hated it, you miss it. Then suddenly you realize you love them unconditionally, whether they are with you or not. And you forgive them for triggering these things in you that you didn't even know you had. And you forgive yourself for being anything less than what they deserved. And you forgive yourself for your regret. And you learn how to deal with your regret and love yourself through it. Because if you're not going to reunite with them in this life, then you will in the next. You got to be ready for them in the next. So you start to become enlightened. You step into yourself and you surrender. Stage 6. I haven't reached this yet. I'd like to think I'm close, but who knows? From everything that I've read, from all the people that I've talked to in these communities, the surrender stage is relaxing. Suddenly, all of this agony that you were feeling, all of this pain that you were feeling, we're talking the 10 of Swords, 9 of Swords, 8 of Swords, the 9 of Wands, the 10 of Wands, all of these burdens and this anxiety and this pain heals. You start to realize that you love yourself and you're okay in yourself and that you might never see this person again. And as much as that's painful, it's beautiful too, because the lessons that you learned and the lessons that they offered you and gifted to you have made you such a beautiful being on this planet. You've come into yourself. You're healing from the outside in and the inside out. And people are looking at you and they're seeing this change in you. And you're like, I got my heart broken. But it's changing you for the better. You're growing. You're evolving into a higher frequency, into a higher being on this planet so that you can heal others and help them through their journey. And then, when you least expect it, you look down at your phone and there's a text. or it's their phone, their image pops up on your phone, or you're sitting at a coffee shop and you look up and they walk through the door. Or you're out at a bar and you're ordering a drink at the bar and you look to your side and they're staring right back at you. And you just feel that recognition all over again. But it's different now because you're different and they're different. And you've worked through your shit. And you come back together with this different type of respect and this different type of understanding of each other. And you know the mistakes you made in the past. And you swear you won't do it again. And you hope you don't do it again. And you might fall into that runner-chaser dynamic one more time. But what's one more time in an eternity of a twin flame reunion? Because every time you're in it, you learn something more about yourself. You learn something more about who the other person is too. And you grow and you love stronger. And if you're lucky to reunite with your twin flame in this life, hang on to them. Be honest, be open. Open your heart. Don't close it off. You will be guarded. You will be guarded because of everything you have gone through, especially with them. But you should have worked through your stuff so that you can trust them to not hurt you. And if they do, you have to know that they don't mean to hurt you because they are only hurting themselves. And the only way to heal this union is through unconditional love and understanding and compassion. And that is why it is so important for the divine feminine to be able to control herself and learn how to contain this passionate, intense energy and emotion, because the divine masculine can't contain it. They are strong and they can deal with so many things, but the divine feminine, that is our purpose. To be that container, to protect our divine masculine, sometimes from ourselves. But that reunion, from what I've heard, it's bliss. It's beautiful. And it's just like the recognition phase, but 10 times better. And you no longer fear losing them because they're always there with you. You no longer fear being apart from them because they're always with you and always inside of you. And you are the same person, just in 2 different bodies. And you no longer are judging them for their flaws because you understand that you have flaws yourself. And it is our flaws that make us beautiful. And it is our imperfections that make us perfect for each other. Goddamn, I hope I get to see it. Till then, my friends, thank you for listening to me rant. If there's anything else about the twin flame journey, any questions, anything you want me to talk about on YouTube, mention down below. Please like or not like. It's up to you. Free will. It's a beautiful thing. Until then, my friends. Deuces.